Hey friends, it's Whitney. Welcome back to Whiskey and Wit. In today's video, I'm going to take you along for the ride as I DIY Finn's first Halloween costume, so stay tuned. Although Halloween might look a little bit different this year, I'm still really excited to DIY some costumes for Finn. Now I'm gonna be making a few today because I could not decide. So I grabbed a few different solid color onesies for him, but you could definitely use solid color t-shirts, sweatshirts, really anything to do the same look. And also I'll be using my Cricut to show you how quick and easy you can make costumes using it. A huge thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I'm so excited to share more tips and tricks with you guys. Every time I share these videos, I get a lot more questions. So I'll be diving into Design Space today, really showing you how I create these and also being able to show you the finished product on cute Mr. Finn.
All of the onesies I'll be using in today's video came from Primary, and I will link all of that down below. The first one I'll show you is this traditional jack-o'-lantern, and this one is the easiest, and we're going to add some tips and tricks as we go. So the first step is to measure your onesie or shirt or whatever you're using to figure out how big of an area you want your decal to cover. So for me, I wanted to do a 6" by 6" square. So I went into Design Space, found a jack-o'-lantern face that I wanted by searching in the images, and I really like using Cricut Access because then you're able to access a lot of fonts and images that you don't have to go track down somewhere else on the internet. I get a lot of questions. Design Space itself comes with your Cricut machine, but then above and beyond that, you can buy a membership to then have access to a lot more creative items to really help you create whatever you want to do with the Cricut. So then what I like to do is take a shape and size it to the area that I want to cover, and then that helps me visualize how big my graphic should be. So here I've got a 6 by 6 square with my decal over the top to figure out what size I want. And then once everything's good to go, I change the actual piece that I'm cutting to the color of the vinyl just to help keep everything straight on my end. And then I get rid of the box. Now on to the vinyl. You'll hear this called heat transfer vinyl, HTV, or iron-on. Basically, it's all vinyl that you're going to transfer with heat. And when you put it on your mat, there's a shiny side and a matte side. The shiny side goes down, and you want to make sure the dial on your Cricut is set to iron-on. Then when you're on your computer in Cricut Design Space, you want to hit this little mirror button you're seeing me hit over to the left, and that is going to make sure that everything cuts backwards because essentially your iron-on vinyl is backwards on your mat. Telling you what to put in each slot, what button to press. So like once you do it, like me, I've done it for years, so like I know how to do this, but if you just get it out of the box, they make it super easy for you to just, you know, get your stuff set and get rolling with projects. Then you take your piece and you weed it. You just take a little weeding tool, pull up the edge, and then peel off the excess vinyl. And then I use a Cricut Easy Press too, but you could definitely use an iron as well. For this particular situation, I did 350 for my cotton onesies for 30 seconds. So I got my cutout piece set up and centered where I wanted to. I covered it with just a cotton hand towel from my kitchen, just for protection. And then I went ahead and used my Easy Press for 30 seconds, let it cool. You have to use a little bit of extra muscle, but once you start pulling, it will come off really easily. And here's my finished product. I also really like using the heat transfer vinyl for this because as you can see, Finn is on the move. I don't want him to be in some outfit that's really uncomfortable and restricting, so this was the way to go. In the same vein, I wanted to create this Charlie Brown outfit. I thought this was super adorable. I saw it on Pinterest and I wanted to do my own spin on it. So same thing here, go ahead and measure, and I'm figuring out how big I want my chevron piece to be. So we'll start with a blank canvas in Design Space and start by adding a square. You're going to unlock your box so your aspect ratio is off and create a 9 by 3 box. Then we're going to make this chevron. So I went and searched for an image. This is the one I ended up choosing, but I wanted to cut off that little piece. So all I did was take a square over the part I didn't want, select both, and hit slice over on the right. Once you hit slice, then you're going to have that piece to itself. And then I'm going to do the same thing to cut down this chevron piece. So select both, hit slice, and it essentially works as like a cookie cutter. So then I selected the pieces I didn't want, and then I was left with my chevron. So then once I cut that out and weeded it, I made sure to press my shirt, and then I laid down the chevron piece to get ready to press. And I pushed down because that carrier sheet is a little sticky, so it's going to allow it to sit very nicely. So then I'm going to put down my towel, go through and press it just like I did the other one. And once that's done, go through and peel off your piece. And I love that he can wear this and move around freely and still be essentially in a costume, but not be constricted and not get mad at me. I also thought it'd be cute to add this little thought bubble sign. And so I made it with some Dollar Tree supplies. One of these little wood cutouts, you can get those at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever, but mine's Dollar Tree, like I said. And then some of these dowel rods, also from Dollar Tree. I painted all of them with a coat of black chalk paint. And then I created a little decal in the Charles Schulz font from the comic. So I uploaded this image, and what I did is I changed my reduce colors to 2 and my color tolerance to 100. So then that way I could cut out the actual font so that it would match the comic strip. So I went through and just used the magic eraser tool, clicked out all the areas I didn't want, and then I clicked save as a cut image on the right. I imported that in, resized it, and cut it regularly. Now this one's not mirrored because it's regular vinyl. And then once that was all cut out, I went ahead and weeded it with my Cricut tool and used some transfer tape to apply it to the sign. Now I wanted to add a handle so that Finn could hold it if he wanted to. He's getting good at gripping things. So I took the 3 pieces, hot glued them to the back, reinforced it with a ton of hot glue. And then I decided that the little handle was a little rough for my liking to give to him. So I just took some yarn that I had in the same black color and wrapped it around the handle of the sign just so then that way it was protected for him. Totally optional, but I decided to do that. And here it is. I think it looks so cute. It looks like he's straight out of a Peanuts comic strip. I think the Good Grief is just a super fun little added piece. It kind of takes the outfit to the next level. Instead of just having that shirt, I'm probably going to have him wear some black pants and then figure out a shoe situation for that. But I love that he can wear this onesie well past Halloween as well. On this next one, for this adorable gnome costume, I'm going to show you how to layer some heat transfer vinyl, so 2 layers. So I went ahead and measured. I needed a 9-inch wide piece for my belt, and then also I wanted something about 3 inches high. So I made a shape. I decided to do 9 by 2 instead, because once I was looking at it, I resized. And then I needed to make the belt buckle. So I started with a square, then I selected everything and hit align center. Then I took another square, and now I'm going to go through the process of slicing like that cookie cutter that I mentioned and cut out the center. So I made a smaller square inside of my larger square, selected both, hit slice, and then removed everything but the outside. So then that is how I got the cut out square to make the belt buckle. Now everything I needed for this project was in my Cricut iron-on bundle. I will link that information down below. I like to have bundles like that, so when projects like this come up, I have multiple different colors to choose from. And then once everything was weeded, I went through and assembled my little shirt. So you're gonna follow the same process as the other 2. Put your first piece on, peel it off. Then you're just gonna put the second piece on right on top of the other, do the same heating, and then peel it off. It's really easy to layer heat transfer vinyl. This is a much better way, in my opinion, to do a belt for a little kid versus making them actually wear a belt. Then I decided that my little gnome needed a beard, so I tried something out. I took some super thin Dollar Tree felt. Like, this is really see-through. This is not like even what you're getting at Walmart. Like, it's pretty see-through, but it was good because that helped me. I put it on my strong grip mat, which is the purple color. I set my machine to cut on non-bonded felt, and it cut out really well. I was really surprised. I also cut something afterwards, and it didn't dull my blade, so I was really happy with that. And then I decided to grab 2 Dollar Tree party hats to complete the hat and the beard. So for the beard, I just added 2 dabs of hot glue, and I used my little finger protector to glue some elastic from the hat onto the beard so I could have Finn wear that. And then I took that same Dollar Tree felt, but in red, and glued it around the party hat. I thought this would be great so it would stay on his head, and also I can make it a little bit higher than what the actual hat was. So I wanted it to be a little bit more pointy at the top and then also a little bit higher. So I just cut off my excess, glued the inside around the bottom, and then finished off the top and added a cute little pom-pom. It was really simple, no rhyme or reason, just made it so it glued to the hat, and it turned out super cute. I really think this is so fun. Now, the beard was good in theory, and it just didn't work super well. Keep in mind, Finn is 7 months old, and so with this stuff, I'm going with comfort. I'm going with, we're gonna try the cute thing, but it may not work, and that's okay. Give yourself grace. And now on to our final one, where we are going to layer multiple pieces. I'm going to show you how to make this cut file and how to get it cut on different colors. So again, measure your area. This one I'm going to do a 6x6 again. And now we're going to make the Elmo face. So I had a guide picture of Elmo, and I thought I could totally build this myself. It's just a bunch of circles. So I did 2 circles for the eyeballs, and then 2 slightly bigger circles for the outline in black behind, and then I went ahead and centered the eyeballs. Then I went through and made Elmo's nose in orange, and this one I just made an oval and turned it. And then when it came to his mouth, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to make it work. Well, Cricut to the rescue, because they have an Elmo section on Access. So I went in, found one that I liked, and then I just was interested in getting Elmo's mouth. So when you get the different cut files, there's a few different layers in there. So I removed every layer but the one that I needed for his mouth. Then I used my slice trick to remove the eyeballs from the mouth. So then your mouth was one piece, your eyes were one piece. And then I started to combine some stuff. So thinking here, I needed all of the black to be one piece. I combined the back of the nose, the back of the eyes, and the mouth. Then I welded them together, which is down in the corner by slice. And then I went through and welded my 2 eyeballs together. And then I sliced the nose with the eyeballs. So then that way, when they were overlapping, you didn't have a weird crease. So here I duplicated the eyes, and I then sliced the nose. The reason I had to duplicate the eyes is because I still wanted my eyes to be full circles. If I would have sliced from the full circles, then it would have cut out of those pieces as well. So I just duplicated it to use it as a cookie cutter, but then got rid of it once I didn't need it. So then here are all my different pieces that I had. So I had a black piece that was the back of the eyes, the back of the nose, and the mouth. Then I had one piece that was white that were the 2 eyes, another black piece for the inner pupils, and then an orange piece for the nose. So then you're going to follow the prompts on your screen. They're going to tell you which color to load and which color to cut. And then once you get everything out of your machine, then it's time to add it to your shirt. So this process is going to be just like our gnome, but it's just a few more moving parts. So the first thing that goes down is our black piece that is Elmo's face. Then you're going to peel off the carrier sheet like we have on all the other projects. And then up next are the 2 white circles for the eyes. So using the black outline, I use that as a guide to place my eyes right where they needed to go. And the nice thing is you can finagle them until they're in the right spot. And then you're going to add your little towel back and then press it again. Then once that cools, you're going to peel off that carrier sheet, and then we're going to do the orange nose. So I grabbed my orange piece and I used that little slice area to line up my nose right where it needed to go. Once that was all set, I pressed it again. Once it was cooled, I removed that piece, and then the final step is to add your little eyeballs to the white pieces and give that a final press. Last step is to just peel off that last piece of carrier sheet And then Elmo is all done. Now Finn's just gonna wear this with black pants. However, you could create a little tulle tutu if you have a little girl. This is another one where I'm really glad that he can wear this past Halloween, so it could be a cute little costume, but then he could wear this as a regular everyday shirt. And hopefully by seeing this go together, it's not as intimidating to create a project like this on your own at home.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you some inspiration for your kids or for yourself to make some last minute Halloween costumes. I know this year we're trying so hard to have some continuity for kids, especially because of how crazy 2020 has been. So I hope this is allowing you to have a little normalcy in your Halloween season. Also, huge thank you to Cricut for partnering with me for today's video. Like I said, I love sharing tips and tricks with you guys. Let me know down in the comments what else you would like to learn about Cricut. I'd be happy to put that in future videos, or if I've got one that covers it already, I will link it for you down below. I've got a full Cricut tips and tricks playlist, so head down there for the next video so you can keep on watching. Also be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a future Whiskey and Whit video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!